So, in the second chapter, you'll notice the title is A Vital Necessity. So, renewing your mind, part two, a vital necessity. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Let's Dream Again with Michelle. I'm so glad you're here today. If you joined me in the last episode, you remember that we spoke about how the mind is the battlefield, how the real battles we face happen in our thoughts. So today we're continuing this journey of renewing our minds, and we're talking about something very important. Right thinking is not optional. It is necessary. Let me say that again slowly. Right thinking is not optional. It is necessary. Many of us want to change our lives. We want peace. We want clarity. We want growth. We want to step into the dreams we carry inside of us. But sometimes we try to change our lives without changing our thinking. And that's where I notice I struggle, or that's where I notice where the struggle begins. So here's the truth. You cannot live a positive life with a negative mind. You cannot consistently move forward if your thinking is constantly pulling you backward. And this is something we don't always realize because thoughts feel neutral. Like they feel, thoughts feel natural. They feel automatic. They feel like just the way we are. But the reality is, many of our thoughts have been learned over time through experiences, through people who said them to us, through what we've been exposed to. And if those thoughts are not challenged, they become patterns, and those patterns begin to shape our lives. There's a powerful scripture that speaks directly to this. In Romans 12 verse 2, it says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is such a powerful scripture. Notice something important here. It doesn't say be transformed by trying harder. It doesn't say be transformed by fixing everything around you. No, it says be transformed by renewing your mind. That means the real change, the lasting change, starts from inside. It starts with how you think. Let's talk about what renewing your mind actually means. It doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect, of course. It doesn't mean ignoring your challenges. It doesn't mean choosing to think differently on purpose. It means replacing old, limiting, negative patterns of thinking with thoughts that are now true and healthy and life-giving. And here's where it becomes very real. If you've been thinking in a certain way for years, if you've been telling yourself the same negative things for a long time, then renewal is going to take time because your mind has been trained to expect the worst, trained to doubt, trained to fear. And most of the time, we don't even realize this at all. But the good news with this is that what has been learned can be unlearned, right? Makes sense. What has been learned can be unlearned. Like you learned it. So now it means also you can unlearn it. And what has been built can be rebuilt. So renewing your mind is not it's not a one-time decision. It's a daily process, a daily choice to think differently, a daily choice um, to challenge what doesn't serve you, a daily commitment for growth. And I want to be honest with you, ne? This process is not always easy. There will be moments when it just feels uncomfortable, moments when your old thinking tries to pull you back, moments when it feels easier to just believe what you've always believed. But growth often feels uncomfortable before it feels natural. Think about it like this. If you've been walking down the same path for years, that path becomes familiar. Even if it's not talking to, even if it's not taking you where you want to go, it feels comfortable, because you're familiar with it. Now imagine choosing a new path. At first, it feels unfamiliar. It might feel slower, even. It might even feel harder. But over time, that new path becomes a new normal. So that's what renewing your mind is like. You are creating new pathways in how you think. So, what does this look like in our everyday life? It starts with awareness, just like we spoke about in the last episode. But now we go further. Now it's about replacement. When a thought comes in that says, I'm not good enough, you don't just notice it, you replace it. When a thought says, I'll never get this right, you don't just observe it, you challenge it and you choose something different. Because if you only remove negative thinking without replacing it, your mind will go right back to what it knows. But when you replace it, you begin to reprogram how you think. And that's where transformation begins. Not in one big moment, but in small, consistent decisions, thought by thought, day by day. Let me also remind you of something important. You don't have to believe everything you've always thought. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to think differently about yourself and about your life. And as you begin to renew your mind, something powerful starts to happen. You begin to see possibilities where like you once saw limitations. You begin to feel peace where there was anxiety. You begin to move forward where you felt stuck because your thinking is changing. And when your thinking changes, everything begins to follow. So here's a simple focus for today. Pay attention to your thoughts and begin to replace what doesn't serve you. Don't just notice negativity, challenge it. Don't just hear limiting thoughts, rewrite them. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just start. Start small, start intentionally, start today. You are in the process of renewing your mind, and that process is powerful. And well done to you. So, thank you so much for joining me today on Let's Dream Again with Michelle. In our next episode, we're going to talk about something many of us need to hear: why we must not give up in the process, because renewal takes time and persistence is everything. Come on, we got this, guys. Let's do it. See you in the next episode. Bye.